Good morning, everybody. Welcome along. You're watching Make Movement. You wish it was myself, Dave Montgomery. I'm chuckling to myself and stalling because I'm trying to think what the hell the date is. Today is Wednesday. It's the 29th, I believe. 27th, 28th, 29th, yeah. 29th of June 2022. This is your 8 a.m. movement snack. It's our get up and go. Basically, it's our mobilisation. Circulation boosting and all of that. Okay, teeth are in. I'm ready to go. Good morning to actually come on board now. If you're watching this on catch up, you know the skinny now. You pop us a message in, come back to you, and I'll let you know. I'll converse even with you. So pop us that comment in. Let us know how you doing. I'm going to pop across and say hello to people as they're coming on live. I can see that you are getting comments today, Dave. I can see I'm getting comments. This is brilliant. Right, Dawn, good morning to you. Where are you? Anywhere purple? I'm in Edinburgh, just off the M8, junction 3 of the M8, in a Premier Inn. Yes, somewhere purple. George Anderson, good morning to you. George, dull and damp in Cruden Bay. It's dull and damp out there as well. And I've just spoken to the wife. She said it's dull and damp at home. In fact, it's positively soggy at home. So a pleasant journey home for me today. Good morning to Rita. Hello to you. Gillian Hillier, good morning to you. Dry so far where you are. Francis McFarlane's down in Bristol. Good morning. And good morning to Sandra Hewitt, who is down in Waterlooville. I'm staying right at the very top of the screen for a reason. Gillian Matthews, good morning to you and everyone. It's good to have you all with us. I said in my preamble bit of a nudge, wait till you see the bad hair day. I've got no cap with me. I've usually got a cap to cover it up. I'm not a brilliant sleeper when I'm away from home, I must admit. I'm not a brilliant sleeper. So a little bit tired. So I'll be truthful, I spent as much time in bed as I could. I got up about 10 minutes ago. Have I got time to do my hair? No. We're gonna have to go. We're gonna have to go with the bad hair day. So you get to see what's usually under the cap today. Good morning, Sheila Day. I hope it doesn't put you off too much. But this is our 8 a.m. movement snack. It's our circulation boosting and our mobilisation. It gets us ready for the day, really. It decrumples us, gets us ironed out, ready to start the day functioning, ready to take on whatever it has to throw at us. Then we have our 12 o'clock, and our 12 o'clock, of course, is where we get our balance and strength. And then we have our 4 o'clock, which is our sway and stretch. Now listen, we're at 8 a.m, so I'm just going to say hello to Carol. Kent, good morning to you. Never forget about the hair. It's just nice to see you. Thank you, Carol. Okay, let's lose the comments off the screen, and here I come. Look, there you go. That is the bad hair day, isn't it? Isn't it awful? I thought, I'm not even going to try and comb it. I'm just going to leave it. Let's see what it does. So welcome to my world of first thing in the morning. Right, we are at 8 a.m, so we better have a whoosh whoosh ping, haven't we? So good morning, everybody. Welcome along. You're with Dave Montgomery from Later Life Training. Today is Wednesday. It's the 29th of June 2022, and this is your 8 a.m. movement snack. It's our first one of the day. It's about decrumpling everything. It's about getting our circulation boosted and ready to go to take on the day. So let's get ourselves started, shall we? First things first, we need to decide, are we doing this in standing or are we doing it in seated? If we're doing it in seated, we've got a strong chair available to us. If we're doing it in standing, then we've got some fixed external support. And I've got the wall here, I've got a wall here as well for my support. But I don't want to go too far back from you. So let's have a look, firstly, at what we're going to need to think about. Floor is clear, there's nothing in the way. I've got my socks on, yeah, because I'm ready to feel that floor beneath my feet. If you're on a hard floor, though, remember you need sensible, comfortable footwear. As I say, we can do this in standing or seated. Choice is yours. It's what feels right. It's what feels comfortable for you. In seated, it's a strong, sturdy chair. Now, let's have a look at the seated option first. firstly, so if we're going to be in seated from a posture position, we need to bring ourselves away from the back of the chair. So we're supporting the body, not the chair. From there, we've got this lift and a shift to bring ourselves into the front third. And then once we're sat in the front third of the chair, it's a case of lining everything up. Shoulders up, back and down. If we're standing, we've got our heels in line with our knees, knees in line with the hips. Again, we've got that lift and lengthen to grow that bit taller. Shoulders come up, they go back, and they press down. From here, we can start with our circulation boosting, and it starts with a pedal of those feet. Bringing the heels off the floor, starting to get some movement down into our ankles and into our legs. We start with small movements, and as you know by now, what we do is we build those movements to make them bigger. Not faster, bigger. That's the important thing, okay? So from here, we can take that into a march, lifting the foot clear of the floor and using our support if we need it. Now we're making this movement bigger here. We remember though that in seated, this is a bigger movement. It's even bigger than it is here. There's going to be a lot of movement happening at your hip flexors, and there may be some discomfort there. And when I say discomfort, I mean fatigue more than discomfort. So it's not going to hurt, hopefully, but you might find that, do you know what, like I'm really feeling that. In which case, bring it back down into a heel raise. You work at the level that's right for you. That's what this is all about. Let's pop just the one arm in, just the one. Remember, it's this driven movement from the elbow. Now, if we're using support and it's in front of us, pop the hand down, bring the other hand off. If we're not using support and we're in seated, we can just do that without having to think. If the support is to the side of us, however, we're going to need to think about how we do that. So we can lose the arm, we can start to make little steps to turn around to the other side, holding onto the support as you turn into it, and then bring the other arm in. Or, if we're not using support, in seated and standing, we can put both arms in with both legs. That gives us more movement. Again, bigger movements. So we're challenging the body a little bit more, we're asking it to work a little bit harder. So the blood is going to start to pump a bit more. We're going to start to breathe a little bit heavier. And that is what our circulation boosting is all about. 2, maximum 3 minutes, we start to bring this down. Let's lose the arms. Let's make the march a little bit smaller. Bring it back into that heel raise. Come to a pause. A couple of deep breaths. Might be what you want. You might be feeling okay. Let's move into our trio of trios then. So we start at the top and we work our way down. It's just the way we do it. We start at the bottom, we worked up for the circulation boost, and we're going to go all the way back down again. So we start with our head and shoulders. Now, posture-wise and base of support-wise, let's bring those heels just slightly outside of our hips so we've got a good base of support to work from. I'm going to come a little bit closer for the shoulders and the head, okay? So in here, what we're going to do is exactly the same in seated. Lift those shoulders towards the ears, keeping the neck lengthened, and press down so we get this strong, big range of motion, as big as we can manage, okay? But it's not just a lift and a lower. Think about the movement. And then from there, what we're going to do is we're going to take it into a rotational movement. So from here, we're going to pause for a second, bring the shoulders forward, lift towards our ears, back past the earlobes, shoulder blades together, and press down. So we've got that rotational movement happening. And it's about getting the best range of motion, and that's part of the reason that we go nice and slow and controlled. If we try and rush this, all that happens is we end up with a small movement, and we don't really get the movement that we want. Once you do 4 or 5, take a pause. Let's head into our head turn. So head is going to turn from side to side. Everything stays square. Eye lines stay level. The head turns to the side towards our shoulder, pauses in the centre, and then turns the other way. Now have support available, because if you do feel any disorientation, you could put your hand on it and proprioception will say, okay, I know where I am in relation to everything else now, I feel a bit better. So hand on support if you need it. Try and turn the head as far as you can towards the shoulder, but remember there should be no pain unless you have pain in your neck all the time, in which case, no further pain. We don't want any more. 4 or 5 on each side. Think about crossing the road, all those things, talking to people, you know. We don't turn our whole body, do we? You alright? Yeah, good. I'm alright. That's what it's about. From there, let's go into the back of the head, and I'm trying to decide which way to go to get the least embarrassing bit of the hair. There you go, that's best, isn't it? Fingers on chin. Fingers on chin. And this is just as a guide, okay? So we're not pressing with these fingers. So, eye line stays level. We lengthen through the back here. We can either leave the fingers where they are and use them as a guide to bring the chin back to, or we can leave them on our chin as a guide and come back, but I'm not pressing, okay? Eye line stays level. We create that extra trim by keeping our eye line level. From the front, we don't see a great deal, but as you saw from the side, what we're doing is we're lining that head back up. So we're getting that line down through the back of the head, down through the spine. Once you've done your 4 or 5 of those, take a pause. We're going back into a circulation booster. 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. And what I mean by the just is not that it's, it's only 30 seconds, but it's not the whole circulation booster again. It's a short burst. All we want to do is give our circulation a little reboost so we can move from our top to our middle, down into our trunk. And let's think about what the trunk does. Hey, look, it's supporting everything here, isn't it? Everything from here up, trunk's supporting it. So we want to have it strong, we want to have it mobile. Think about all the things we do during the day, turning to the side again. Seat belts, what about putting your coat on? It's raining out there, I'm going to put my coat on. The only problem is I've left it in the car. So I'm going to have to get wet first. So, what the heck, I might just get wet. Hey, bring this down, back into a pause, and let's go into our trunk. Now we start firstly by having a look at this base of support. It comes a little bit wider. Let's give ourselves a really good base of support. And if you're seated, still get that good base of support. Our first movement is a side bend, down to the side, pausing in the centre. Remembering if you're using support, change hands every time. If you're using support to the side, take your side bend into the support, and then when you've done your 4 or 5, turn to the other side as many steps. In seated, bum, stays firmly on that chair. The buttocks stay fixed to the chair as you lower to the side, pause in the centre, lower the other way. Taking that as far as you can, using the leg of the chairs or your leg as a guide from a straight down position, because remember it is straight down, straight up, it's not coming forward or backwards. But also, how far are you reaching? Think about reaching down into a lower shelf to pick something out. It's those sorts of movements we're talking about. 4 or 5 on each side, and then once you've done that, have a little breather. Let's go into the trunk rotation, the trunk twist. So here, we're going to focus on these hips staying still. So soften the knees a little bit, that will help a little bit. We take the body round to the side, keeping the elbows in line with the shoulder and trying to keep those hips locked. Pause in the centre, around the other way. Now, in seated, we use the buttocks as our indication. So the buttocks are staying firmly on the chair as we rotate to the side, pause in the centre, and then rotate the other way. So, in standing, you've got your support. You can either use your support, change your hand every time, or again, if it's to the side, remember, do them all into the support and change. Or use your support as a measure. So now by placing myself against the support, as I rotate, if I feel the buttock lifting, or if my support's in front, I feel the hip lifting away. Do you know what? It's going to tell me those hips are moving. Those hips don't lie. They're going to tell us if they're moving. And we don't want them to. We want to keep them as still as we can. So we focus everything into here. Once you've done 4 or 5, each way, say hello to the window as you go to the side. Say hello to the bathroom door for me as you go the other way. But try and turn the body as far as you can from the hips upwards to the side. Pause in the centre and then take it the other way. Once you've done your 4 or 5 of those, let's have a look at this back extension. Now the thing with this one is it's about lifting and extending. It's not about leaning back. So we're not going to lean back. So let's make sure those knees are nice and soft. The move is to lift the chest and then extend. So we get a little extension there, we come back in and we release. We lift and we extend. That's the movement we're looking for. And in seated, I can feel that, well, I personally feel I get a better movement because it's about that contact again. Now in standing, I'm having to think about whether my pelvis is moving. In seated, I can feel whether I've got that movement through the way that my bottom and my hips are in contact with the seat. So that's telling me, hang on a minute, you've got some movement there, don't want it. All right? So, listen to your hips. Listen to your pelvis. Once you've done your 4 or 5, then take a pause. We're going back into another circulation booster. Again, it's 30 seconds. It's arms this time. So we're just bringing it up to the upper half. We had lower half last time. We're just coming into the upper half as far as our arms are concerned, to just boost that circulation a little bit again. Working through. 30 seconds. Bigger movements if you want. And then from there, let's start to bring this down again. And let's bring this into our final movement, which is our ankle, feet and toes. So pause. Let's take it to ankle, feet and toes. So here, support, use it. Don't worry about balance. Focus on getting this movement. So if I come to the side, look, I've got my support there. Leg that's closest to support is staying still, I'm staying tall. What I'm going to do is look the first time, but then I'm going to take my eyes to the front. I want my toe and my heel in the same place. Then as we look forward, toe and heel. Keeping the knee softened, we've got that movement coming through there. And as we've got the heel on the floor, we're splaying the toes. As we're bringing it over, we're scrunching the toes and then we're pointing it down to the floor. Do your 4 or 5 on one side and then change to the other. Let me bring this chair in a little bit closer so we can see this foot movement in the chair. So in seated, we can do that movement, just your legs, so you've got the room to get that movement in. And it's exactly the same. We're flexing the toes, we're scrunching and we're pointing. Or, take a little on back into the chair. Extend the foot away, about an inch off the floor. There's your point, there's your flex. You can scrunch the toes there, you can splay the toes here. Now, have a little rest if you need to. Don't worry about it being strength-based. Have a little rest if you need to. Pop it down, bring it back up, and don't let it come all the way up. You don't want that. As I say, it's not a strength movement, it is a mobility movement. And if you take that to the ultimate degree, here is that heel-toe action. It's that walk, isn't it? So heel strikes, we roll through onto the ball of the foot, and then onto the toes, and that gives us that good, strong movement that we're looking for. There we go. That is your 8 a.m. movement snack. That's me done. I think I'm with you tomorrow morning, but early, okay? So it should be a 7 a.m. Snack tomorrow morning, but keep an eye out for your prompts, just in case I've got that wrong, because I don't know what's going on this week, basically. I need to look it up. But I'm definitely back with you on Friday, but I'm sure I'm here with you tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. and then I'll be with you as well on Friday, but tomorrow will be earlier. Have a great day, stay active, stay mobile, keep crowbarring in those extra movements as well. Come on, let's take this by storm. Yeah, let's just focus on 30 minutes. Let's do more. Have a great day. I'm going to have a drive home. I'll see you tomorrow or the day after at some point. Have a lovely evening, a lovely day. Stay moving, stay active, stay crowbarring.